you can for probably the most disliked person I've ever brought up on the show. No, it's not Daniel Romano. It's none other than Brent Pham. Let him have it, y'all. Let him have it, y'all. And what's up, Brent, man? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. What would you like to contribute to tonight's live stream?
So I watched the replay, and the Skye Frank. I think she watches the channel because she acknowledged. Yes, I saw Zach McGinnis at New York Comic Con. She said that right in the like her social media.
Yeah.
She said that she talked to Zach at New York Comic Con. That didn't just come out of the blue. But that's what Barbara Goodson told me. So yeah, that's what happened, and Skye confirmed it. And it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of, yeah. Yes, I saw Zach at New York Comic Con. Yeah, so she was watching she was watching what I was saying. I think she was watching what I was talking, because she wouldn't just disclose this if nobody mentioned it. So yeah, New York Comic Con. Yeah, Zach was there too. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have personal issues. I mean, that doesn't justify what he said. I forgave him and moved on with my life. I mean, Barbara Goodson didn't, and she was and she as the executive wrote her a personal letter. She said no, and I do understand the financial, because when I don't know Galactic Production how they do business, but I'm just assuming from a business perspective, he books people based off a package. So I'm assuming if, let's say, Paul Freeman is at a con and a con wants Paul Freeman, I'm assuming Zach will say, "Oh, take Skye Frank too, and you got a deal." And then this con will be like, "Okay, we'll take Skye Frank, JDF's daughter. We'll take her as well." I don't know how he does business. I'm assuming that's why she would be tempted to sign with Galactic Productions. It's a package deal. Charlie Kirsch, someone who's actually on Power Rangers versus Skye Frank, packaged him in a deal. Okay, we'll take Skye. We'll take Skye as well if we can get Paul Freeman, Charlie Kirsch, Kel Mitchell.
But
that's what I'm assuming. That's why
horrible.
she signed with him.
That's horrible for his current clients, especially like his standout clients, because now they're anchoring other people. Their performance is tied to convention booking all of them as opposed to just one of them.
I'm assuming that's how he does it, right? I don't know. I don't know how
that's rumor how he did it, but we do have a question for you from Cayenne Pepper. I believe she stopped falling asleep in another man's Discord, but she's still causing problems. She said, "Brent, when you are tagged in Discord, why don't you respond? Explain the Melissa dislike. Thanks."
Because I don't go on Discord that often, and simply Melissa, I don't respond. I feel like she's I don't need to respond to every keyboard warrior who comes to me. I mean, whether it's Cayenne Pepper or Simply Melissa, and Simply Melissa blocks me, so I don't keyboard warrior. I don't even think that's the right term for her. Maybe so a keyboard warrior is willing to you go to war. You're willing to type it out, and you're willing to get a response. So she blocks me though. So I don't. If I'm going to respond to a keyboard warrior, I'm going to respond to someone who's actually doesn't block me, is willing to have a conversation. So that's probably why I don't respond to her. I mean, so I know Cayenne's trying to stick up to her fellow keyboard warrior. That's okay, but that's part of social media. So that's my response to Kai, or she calls herself Shay or whatever. Yeah.
Melissa said, "Why don't you just call her a bish?"
Is that what she said? Okay, I don't know, because I don't get her response because she blocked me, so I can't really respond to that because I don't really know her that well. So she's just a keyboard warrior who just types whatever she wants. I'm not going to be overly concerned about someone who types on a keyboard and doesn't even, when I respond to her, I can't even respond to her because she blocked me, which is fine. That's part of social media, but that's just, that's why I don't respond to keyboard warriors, because there's people who actually put their faces on a camera. I mean, maybe I'll respond to those people, but keyboard warriors, I try not to worry too much. That's my response.
No, I don't know if she blocked you or not, man. Sometimes when it comes to the Discord drama, I don't know. They don't be like, hey, just want to let you know I'll block such and such. I typically don't know who blocks who or what's going on, but it sounds like y'all got like some back and forth.
I
Uh,
don't know because I'm not. I don't really worry too much about that, so I'm not really going back and forth. I mean, I don't know what
well,
Shay's talking about. She probably has an issue, but I don't know because I don't really pay attention to that. So
okay,
that's
well,
my response to Shay or Cayenne Pepper, whatever she calls herself.
okay, well, Angel Pest, who does come on camera, who does put his name and face out there, says,
Uh,
then stop ducking and dodging me, Brent, and meet me.
okay. Wow. So if I met Angel Pest at Power Morphicon, I would love to have a civil discussion with him. I've had it with Matt Fisher, Degenerate, Happily on Purple. We had great conversations. Degenerate, maybe it wasn't the nicest because it was kind of awkward, but I did have a conversation with him and I did discuss the same things I discuss on this channel. But I'm not going to be looking for these people like if especially if we're talking shit, I'm not going to be like, oh, I want to meet you. That's not how it works. But if I were to meet you understand, Henry, right? Like that's I'm not going to be looking for you. I mean, but if we meet, if we happen to bump into each other, like Matt Fisher, we had a very confrontational thing on this channel, and I met with him, and we discussed. We had a discussion, a very brief one, but I didn't meet with. We did discuss and talk about things very briefly. It was very brief. So if we were to meet, I happen to meet Angel Pest, then yes, I would love to have a civil discussion with him. But I'm not going to be looking for him, especially when he's said negative things about me. I'm not going to be eager to look to meet with people that do that. But if we were to bump into each other, I'd love to have a civil discussion with him. I wouldn't be against that.
Okay, Angel Pest, he's open to a civil discussion. Now, what are some of the negative things people have said about you, Brent? You said people say negative things about you. What are
Of
they?
course, I mean on this channel, I mean like off the top of my head, I mean, someone said you're beneath me, blah blah. I mean, kind of like stuff like that. It's kind of like it's whatever. Those people, I'm not eager. I'm not going to eager be like, oh, I want to meet you. But if we bump into each other, sure.
Guys, are y'all saying negative things about Brent in the chat or Discord?
Yeah, but it's social media, Henry. You can't really. You have to expect those type of things. So.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try to get on Brent because we try to have a nice little community here. We're a family, and we shouldn't be talking negatively about the family on
Uh,
on
okay,
our.
sure. If you want to do that time, but if you don't, I mean, it's they could say they'll say what they say. So.
Melissa is not buying it, but anywho, we talked about a lot of stuff regarding Skye
Uh huh.
uh tonight. But Angel Pest again, salute to you, Angel
Why not?
Pest. Thank you for the donation. Says I'll go wherever you want. Los Angeles to Torrance to Newport Beach to Manhattan Beach. I'll go and have a discussion.
If we meet at a convention, if we bump into each other, I would love to have a discussion, but I'm not going to go out of my way to meet someone, especially when they haven't been very nice to me. But if we happen to bump into each other, I'd love to have a civil discussion.
Hey, you ain't been nice to Brent. You can only meet Brent if you're nice to him.
Well, I mean, Henry, it makes sense. Like, why would I go out of my way to meet someone who, I mean, has not said nice. I mean, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't expect most people to do that with anybody. Like if I was saying trash about someone, I wouldn't like simply Melissa, for example. I criticize her for being a keyboard warrior. I'm not going to demand that I meet with her. That's not how
Simply
it
Melissa,
works.
she's
It's
comfortable
not how I do.
being a
It's
keyboard
done.
warrior.
So I mean, I don't know why people are so eager to. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
And you know the
But
crazy thing? I believe you and Melissa are in the same state now. I think she may be close. So maybe y'all can go out for coffee and y'all can squash Y'all could both get y'all some frappuccinos and squash whatever beef y'all got going on. I think that would be. I think that would be what's needed, right? To move forward, y'all to squash y'all beef.
I try not to worry too much about what people say on like if they want to talk negative, that's
Maybe
just part.
maybe over some boba tea. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Would you be open to that, Brent?
if if I were to meet her at a con, if you say, "Oh, hey, I saw you on Henry Resilient," yeah, maybe I'd be open to it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do that. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Well, Melissa, maybe if you, what if she was to treat you to some pho? Would you take her up on that offer?
I mean, probably not. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. I don't know these people. I mean, if you're talking negative about me online, I mean, I'm not going to be inclined to want to meet you. I mean, that's just me being honest. So.
Okay. All right. Well, I have to check with Melissa. It looks like she said she would be open to it. She said, I would rather have pho with Brent than do a lot of things in the chat. So maybe there's some hope for y'all to go get some pho together. All right. Okay.
Sure.
And Francis wants you to meet up with her too. Would you meet up with her? It looks like you got some options.
I mean, yeah, if I were to bump into her, yeah, we have a good conversation. I mean, she said she's in New York, so New York Comic Con. I skipped this year. I skipped this past one. Maybe I don't know. Depending on the guest list, I might go out there again.
I think I read Melissa's wrong. She said she would rather not meet up with you, Brent. Sorry. I read it wrong. My bad. Her loss, huh? Her loss. Anywho, let's get back to the content that matters. What'd you think about her threatening the convention owner with a lawyer for defamation? Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
And her talking about how she's going to ruin.
This is defame. Just because you look bad, does it? Like I've heard this excuse before from certain guests, con guests. Oh, you're defaming him or her. That's just a bunch of that's stupid excuse. If it's true, it's not defaming. If it's true, she would be wise to. If it's true, what Charlie talked about, she would be wise to keep her mouth shut because. Oh my God, you're so full of shit. That's why your show's not go anywhere. Hearing from the lawyers soon. I mean, she has to think about the cost. She won't do it because the costs will likely exceed any damages that she incurred.
Spoken as a true man who's went to court before. That's
You have to look at
true.
the lawyer. The lawyer fees you have to be realistic about the lawyer fees. There has to be real damage that you incurred. Now, what was what Charlie said? Does it make her look bad? Oh, absolutely. And absolutely. Let's be very clear. Like what he said was very unflattering. But if it's the truth, then you have to be held responsible. I bet he's very careful before he went up to you to make sure that everything he says is accurate. Because any inaccurate statement, she's watching. Like with David Yost, I make sure everything I say is accurate because David Yost might come. If I say one inaccurate thing, he will pounce on it, and there's crickets from him. So I made and even on Renee's channel, there was an inaccurate statement made about the con owner's con's behavior. I made sure to correct it because you never know, the con might come after you. So you have to be very careful about what you say because this platform is growing and people are watching this channel. So everything I said is 100% accurate.
That's wild.
And you know, that's what Charlie, I bet he was very careful. Everything he said is accurate. Okay. People can corroborate it. So that's why I believe him. And that's why she just needs to take the loss and just say, I messed up. Because, yes, she had to pay out the con had to pay out of pocket because all you had to do was sit at the booth and sign her name and not interact with the crowd. If you don't want to talk to the fans, You don't have to. You just have to be there at your booth. You just have to be at your booth. That's your obligation. Anything else, the fans can complain about a bad interaction, whatever. But as long as she's there, she's entitled to that money, which I feel that she doesn't deserve. But
Okay. All right.
but she is entitled to that if she was at her booth. But she couldn't do that.
Anything off the cuff you want to talk about? Whether maybe Trump's speech? Did you like it? Did you feel invigorated? Did you feel like hopeful, or were you like, dude?
Golden. I mean, I watched his speech and just to see Joe Biden and Kamala not clap. I mean, oh my God.
Was that everything for you?
I mean, they're both Trump and Kamala. They're both dirty politicians. None of them are good. Both of them are two bad options. But to see Kamala, that dirty, I mean, two-faced charlatan, just sit there, have to see Trump. There's a golden age, just her have to sit there having lost to him. Oh my God. I mean, it was just not that Trump is any better, but I'm just saying that just to see her and Biden just having to watch him. I mean, because they messed up. They make promises and they don't keep them. And it's just good. It's just some satisfaction that they have to sit there and watch it. But just look at this. Kamala, look at this. I don't think Biden would have won. I think it would have been a tighter race, but I think he would have lost as well because people, they're like, oh, Biden didn't do anything. Trump didn't do anything for me during COVID. I'm voting for Biden. But then Biden didn't do anything for me. I'm voting for Trump. So it's kind of like two bad options.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you, Brent, for coming up, man. Anything else you want to get off your chest?
Snoop Dogg.
What about Snoop, man? You and Snoop are in the same spot. So what, were you at the party with Uncle Snoop?
I mean, I used to associate Snoop with like hypocrite. Yeah, I mean, the inauguration is it's not like a private event. I mean, it happens every time the president is inaugurated, whether it's Republican, Democrat, whatever. So I think it's a little bit different than, let's say, a private fundraiser for Trump. Because people look at it for exposure, and it's kind of like a bipartisan thing. So I think people should be looking at it as like a political event, a bipartisan event, rather than you're supporting Trump or you're supporting Biden or whoever. But it looks bad when he says that he's criticizing people for performing for Trump. I think it was 2017, but now he's performing for him. It's just kind of
life comes at you fast, man.
I mean, I don't know if he needs the money, or I don't think he needs the money to perform. It's just kind of like an opportunity. It's like a exposure. Carrie Underwood, I think Nelly performed at the inauguration as well.
Soldier Boy too.
Soldier Boy. Oh wow. So it's kind of like it's a bipartisan event. You're not support. I think if it was Kamala performing, I think they would also perform as well. So it's not like you should criticize them for quote-unquote supporting Trump. It's just it's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. I think it's a bipartisan event and people shouldn't be criticized for performing there. That's just my opinion. I mean.
All right. Well, Brent, you've touched on everything. I got to get some other people up so I can get out of here.
All right, sure. All right. Thank you.
All right. That was Brent, everybody. All right. Dustier Productions. Are you ready?